and welcome to the Pop Culture Jungle. Normal time.
Normal time?
Normal time. It is the normal time. This is not a Sunday, which was what was weird last time. Justin's here in the studio.
Again.
We're still at the desk. I will probably be here more normally, but again, if Justin's here, we're supposed to be over there on that couch that you can see Mickey Mouse sitting on. But
finishing touches.
Sure, we'll go that way.
Finishing touches.
Justin's putting away Lorcana. A lot of Lorcana.
Yeah.
But yes. Articles are going to be a little short this week because...
Not a lot of news this week.
Yeah, that, and we kind of grabbed them really quick last minute because I was late at work. That happens. Anything else you want to jump into before we jump into it?
No.
Hush.
Oops.
So, we got several different topics to go over today. We're going to discuss Muppet Vision 3D being archived, Lilo and Stitch director wanting to put Bleakley in a dress, which was a big controversy that a lot of people were bringing up.
Big.
For a lot of people, it was.
Okay.
Even online, a lot of people, it was.
Okay.
To me, it did not matter. Putting that out there now, but we are going to discuss it. The Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern now has a name and details and information about the bird. Because the bird is the word. Snow White, as of today, now has its dates to be dropped onto streaming services and, well, not streaming services, but for sale on streaming. And when physical's coming out, so...
Do you just mean digital? Digital release?
Yeah, that'd be digital release. We're working through it. Then I'm trying to think of the order I want to do this. We'll touch into the main topic of the night about Avengers Doomsday possibly not happening yet.
No even rumors, it's just speculation at this point.
It is speculation at this point.
We'll be transparent about that.
But possibly being put on a hold or being moved to filming locations. And then we're going to finish it off. Actually, we're not going to finish it off because there's still another article I forgot about that. But we're going to go in. We'll go into the numbers. We'll talk about how the tariffs could potentially affect Doomsday, because that is where the pause would come into play. And then we're going to acknowledge the fact that we did not do the Wednesday show for Andor last week, and why, and what we'll be going forward with when it comes to Andor. That fair?
That's fair.
That's fair.
Whoa!
So, let's jump into it and pull up
It's so tiny.
from Blog Mickey.
It's so tiny.
Walt Disney World to archive Muppet Vision 3D by filming a cast member event next week. Next week, cast members will be part of a special after-hours filming event to archive Muppet Vision 3D. The event titled Archiving Muppet Vision 3D will take place on May 14th from 3 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., according to cast members' posts on social media. And then, of course, it will be closing on June 8th. I think this is probably going to take so long because I think they're going to do more of a 3D, like a 360 filming.
They could, because I've heard people throw the words around of to capture the mayhem and environment of Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah, and they did just drop on YouTube
And Disney Plus.
Did it go to Disney Plus?
It went to Disney Plus also.
I saw it on YouTube. The
Bot 2, Walk Around, and Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, I wasn't even bringing up that. No, the 360 view of Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie for the 30th anniversary.
Oh?
Yeah, it's really wonky and weird, but you're supposed to be kind of like in the audience, but on the front of the stage.
I'll take a look at that, because that would mean new animation, no?
Ish. Banter for a second.
Banter. Yeah, but as I was saying, they did like drop the Rise of the Resistance ride through on Disney Plus this weekend for May the 4th. Which could mean that we could see more parks related content on Disney Plus. Oh, you're like at the foot of the stage.
It's a weird placement. We got an ad, and then we'll share this tab instead. Yeah.
Oh, whoa! It's so compressed. Nope, it's not you. It was at 280. It was at 1080. Okay. Wow.
So, yes, there is animation-ish.
A lot of that is just though.
It's animation cells being reused.
Yeah.
A lot of this is. And it's all very basic.
Yeah.
Working. The fact that the 40th anniversary we went through and they did even this much.
Yeah.
Was odd to me that. So here. All the lights being synced to it. But again, it's not perfect. Everything still happens. So like, taking a movie cell and trying to move it into a 15-minute scene doesn't necessarily work.
Move it into a 3D space.
That's when Max falls, but it's more so. I need my fat lady. Where are you at? She's supposed to be coming up afterwards.
Yeah.
And instead they kind of just were just like they didn't know how to. And randomly throughout the whole thing, also we have Bigfoot.
Well, if you turn back around, they have the animatronics from Lester's Possum Park as well.
Oh yeah. They've all been making their appearances also throughout it.
Okay.
There's a lot of references in it, which I think is kind of cool and interesting. I was just surprised.
Yeah.
When I saw this, the walk around, that doesn't surprise me. So we've heard rumors for a long time
that they were going to archive it and put it on Disney Plus.
That Disney was working on trying to make their own YouTube-esque content.
Right. Oh, okay. Yes.
Which would be the walk around of
yes.
That's also where we see then the archival footage idea coming from Muppet Vision. I don't think this was their plan. I don't think this was intended initially.
I don't care.
No. I'm not saying I didn't.
Bottom line, everything else is being preserved. No matter what happens with it, it is being preserved. That is the most important thing to me.
It is being preserved. And I think the idea always was preserve it. I personally thought they were just going to take the footage, compress it to 2D, and just throw it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And put it behind a paywall. This is still going to be behind a paywall.
Yes.
This is just going to go to Disney Plus is where it's going to go.
But it's still going to be available.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to me.
My bigger concern is, and this is coming from us watching the preview of Tiana's By Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Disney does not know how to film online content.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And so I feel like it's good that we're going to have we definitely need it archived at least. Personally, I'm still on the side. It shouldn't be leaving the theater, but if it is going to leave the theater, it at least needs to be archived.
Which is what is happening.
I just don't think Disney is the group that should do it.
I
think they should contract it outside.
Yeah.
People who more so understand online creation.
If they're going to, if that rumor is true about the YouTube-esque content.
But even if not, just to make sure it's being preserved more properly.
Yeah.
Because there's details that they're going to, let's be honest, probably just rush right through, that people like you or me would go back and we would spend 45 minutes looking at a poster. Like, let's be honest, there's enough in there. And that's, I think, where it is. So I think straightforward. Is it good? Yes. The video quality, I imagine, in order to make it work better for Disney Plus, will probably be a 2D version of the film, which is fine. So people will probably use it to just watch that part of it. But when it comes down to like the theater stuff, Tim Tracker did a much better detailed look at everything. He spent legitimately half a day in there going through all the prop figures and such because there's so much in there.
That's why I kind of, I don't know. I do need to look at the Rise of the Resistance ride POV.
Yeah.
To see how that's done, because if it's done in a way I like, I don't know if it was released on YouTube.
That's what I was
but I know it was on Disney Plus. Sorry.
Keep going.
If it's done in a way I like, yes, that. Oh, it's a trailer. But Disney Parks POV, that's new though.
And this is what everybody's figuring is going to be part of this new.
I'm for it.
It's them trying to compete with YouTube. They're not going to win.
No, but like, I like that they're paying cast members to come out at night.
Straightforward. I have to 100% agree with this. I forgot. I didn't pull. Somebody made the comment. Disney Dan already agreed with it also on YouTube. The only reason the cannons got fixed at Disneyland
is for this video.
Oh,
100%. Is this filmed California?
This is filmed in California.
Okay.
Disney themselves do not care about maintenance. It is the Disney Plus service company that paid for maintenance
100%
to film a video.
100%.
Which is so funny to me.
Oh my god. And then like all the extra lighting is up too.
All the extra lighting.
Oh yeah.
The park does not look like this.
No. But like I'm for, if they're doing this, I'm for it because we're getting empty ride vehicles, empty streets, so you can actually see what everything looks like without being overwhelmed.
But we also like why like sightseeing is not as good as
yeah. Why are you in the middle?
Will you turn against the light?
Okay. If Muppet Vision is that high quality, I think I can get behind it. Especially like I'll need to. I think we'll throw it up after we're done here, just to look at how they do the queue. Because like if they kind of take their time and look at everything in the queue as well, I think that will win me over if that's how they're doing Muppet Vision as well.
Yeah, and I get where you're coming from. I'm gonna be honest. I extremely doubt that.
Yeah.
Because again, straightforward, what works in that one, this one.
My bad.
What works straightforward in theatrical filming or production filming, that's a better way to word it.
Yeah.
Is great for very censored, very clean, very storyboarded ideas. However, the internet community is not necessarily caring for that. The reason in some videos they jump so much is because they're just playing the algorithm of how fast our attention span is. However, other creators, again, going to what was his? We used him for Muppet Vision, Concrete Attractions, I think is his name.
Okay. Oh.
And Tim Tracker. Instead, they spent the time to just, hey, instead of us cutting around, we know the people that are watching this are archivists. They want to see what was there. Okay,
so what you're saying is you hope that they take a more actual archival approach to it than a more let's make content out of this approach.
Yeah, because again, at this point, if it's content, they're too late to do it.
Yeah,
they should have beaten Tim to the video. This is why I think a lot of this is kind of, oh no, we want to be the next YouTube. How do we beat them? But this is also why, again, it's been rumored and such, and it looks to be more and more true that they've been in discussions with like Mark Rober.
Yeah, because
they're trying to pull YouTubers over to what their new YouTube-esque part of Disney Plus would be. Straightforward. I don't think YouTubers would be able to work on Disney Plus.
Okay.
And that's just because why should I pay to watch them on your platform
when I can watch them for free?
Well, I may not be able to watch that person anymore. They may be now a contract.
Oh, yeah.
There's thousands.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the cruise line stuff at this point. Like you don't need to go to your favorite, blogger to watch them because legitimately you search the new ship because they're inviting everybody now. And there are hundreds of videos on day one.
Yeah.
And every day there's more and more. So I don't think we're going to actually see anything positive of this besides the fact that the footage should be, if they do it right, I don't think they're going to, but if they do it right, it should be a 2D footage.
Yeah.
Which means we can watch it. Or they're not going to think this far through, and they're going to legitimately set up a camera in the middle of the theater to film, probably a 360 camera like they have been doing, but to film a 3D film with a 2D camera,
yeah,
and look like garbage.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know, because like at the same time, I do also want it to be 360 because so much happens in that theater.
It has to be.
Yeah,
you don't have a choice.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe they just compress everything on the screen to 2D. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, but I think that's why the 3D 360 footage for like Goofy movie came out, was to see would people watch it.
Yeah.
I think that's what that test is. So I don't know. When we know more, we'll talk more. We don't know when it would be dropped. Probably in 3 years.
Yeah.
Anywho, continuing right along. Over at WW News Today. Oh,
that's the wrong one.
I hit the wrong button. That's why I try to keep it up so I can hit just share tab. There it is. Live action Lilo and Stitch director tried to put Bleakley in a dress. Dean Fletcher?
I have no idea.
Camp, director of live action Lilo and Stitch, addressed Agent Bleakley's non-drag disguise in the upcoming film. So, obviously, we all remember Bleakley in dress. Again, as I put it, this look works in cartoon world. This look particularly would not work in real life world. Bleakley famously wears a dress, wig, and other traditional feminine accessories throughout Lilo and Stitch and its sequels, in an effort to blend in with humans. Jumba dresses masculine as the two pass as a heterosexual couple. In the live-action trailer, Jumba... We're not going to go through the names. I'm not going to put a bunch of them. Jumba and Bleakley are shown in disguise as humans, using some kind of hologram technology. Bleakley wears pants and a shirt, while Jumba deactivates Bleakley's disguise. He's in his blue uniform shirt. I hate this design.
Again, it wouldn't have worked.
This would,
yeah, because that's what we would have gotten.
Yeah, this was a mistake of a thought. I see the vision, but not the execution here.
Yeah.
In his TikTok video embedded below, Flazier Camp said people have messaged him asking why Bleakley isn't wearing a dress, and showed a comment reading, "How dare they ruin Bleakley's disguise like that?" Flazier Camp, the reply was a simple "I tried," and showed concept art of the live-action character in drag. Fletcher Camp also addressed the difficulties of adapting an animated film to live action, particularly when it came to getting Stitch's design right. Stitch,
that's just all.
That's
cast. But yeah, it's like we said, it'd be a little too difficult to do so.
I'm just curious if there's anything else he says in this. And on our trailer, what do we got?
Dude, I met him 30 years ago.
23, but yes, you did. I'm excited. Thank you. That's really amazing to hear. We spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to adapt this character properly. I mean, it's cool that he actually responded.
Yeah. Is this his personal or is this Disney?
That's a good question.
It's his personal.
I'm just glad Chris Sanders is still voicing Stitch. Chris Sanders is the creator of Stitch on the very first discussion had. Going back against, this makes sense again. He has the attitude. He knows how the character is supposed to be. So this is a 2-minute long TikTok.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? The way Stitch looks is exactly how I imagine him in live action.
He's a yapper, bro.
The wasted, yeah, so that's still going.
Okay.
Incredible artist, student of biology. We're still just going on how Stitch is correctly drawn. So,
Well, he's also talking about how like other stuff. Okay.
they were in quickly as disguise like that. Why is he not wearing a dress? And I just want to say, I tried.
Okay. That's it.
So, I will say straightforward. Even if let's say I was the man making the decision at that point, if that was the concept art brought to me, I probably would have pushed it down then too.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not understanding how to do this. Now, that being said, I want to know more of that actual story.
Mhm.
If the pushback was, he doesn't look correct for the world he's going to be in, that's not saying no, he can't be in drag. That's saying fix the character. And I'm more on site. I wonder if that's the way it went. Again, I don't know. I wasn't in the room. But if it was just straightforward, no, you can't put him in drag. I'm curious why.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, again, it's not that big of a deal. I think it looks good. I understand where the character is being done the way he is. I'm so excited for the movie. Anything else before I put my foot in my mouth?
No.
Well, still with WDW news today. The Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern now has a name and details, including the name of the new Barker Bird announced.
Wow.
Disney Parks blog. Oh, that's where we could uncut the article from. I was trying to remember where this one was at. Announced the new name of the Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern coming to the Magic Kingdom. The Beak and Barrel.
Okay.
This is a really weak name.
Yeah.
Like, if this was like a tiki room bar, that'd be one thing.
It's not a pirate bar.
This is not a pirate bar name. The Beak and Barrel will open later this year. I like that they have it in quotes because legitimately everybody has it in quotes. I think it's been later this year for the last 2 years.
Probably.
In Adventureland at Magic Kingdom, it's under construction next to the Pirates of the Caribbean gift shop, Plaza de Sol, Caribbean Bazaar in the former Pirates League space. Established by the legendary pirate rum runner, Captain Meridian Mary Goldwyn, and her talkative first mate, Rummy, this lively pirate pub will soon welcome swashbucklers, scoundrels, bandits, and buccaneers of all ages from every corner of the Seven Seas. I do love his design.
He just looks like a generic parrot with a pirate hat and a peg leg.
A pirate hat, peg leg, and a tattoo in the chest. I love the design.
Okay.
Because he also has a eye patch.
Oh, he does?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Meet Rummy. As Mary's trusted companion, the first mate Rummy serves as the tavern's quartermaster, keeping an eye on the place from his roost high atop the bar. Although retired from seafaring life, Rummy is a dutiful crewman to his beloved Mary, ensuring everything is ship-shape, sharing tales of piracy, and leading the bar in a rousing toast or two. Eagle-eyed Disney fans may notice Rummy bears a striking resemblance to the original Barker Bird that previously sat at the entrance of the Pirates of the Caribbean, but flew the coop some time ago. Because there's, you know how you go kind of like through like the big arches and there's that weird like pedestal on top?
Yeah.
They used to have a Barker Bird there to like try to pull guests in. Think kind of how we have like the Barker Bird on the inside on the little island.
Yeah.
There was outside.
Yeah.
And it was more interactive.
Okay.
And so he's pulling that design.
It was like an actual Barker, like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mess. The largest and central space of the Beak and Barrel was once the mess hall for the Spanish soldiers and is now known appropriately as the Mess. Long tables span the room, allowing for pirates to gather around and tell their own tales, while an imposing anchor covered in candles and dripping wax hangs above. So, in other words, we didn't have room for tables, so we put one communal table in the middle and said, "Have a seat."
Is this a walk? No, this is a bar, right? This is a bar. Yeah. Yeah. That's what that means.
That's exactly what that means. That is a fancy way of saying it. The large. I do like the anchor.
I do like the anchor.
That is a nice touch. I will give them that. A large bar anchors one side of the room, cobbled together from salvaged portions of cursed shipwreck. At its center, the skull-shaped stern holds an impressive collection of grogs and brews. Guests may also spot the enchanted rum bottle, which was gifted to Mary by the enchantress Tia Damal, and seemingly serves as the source of the tavern's specialty brews, or rummy hobbling along the bar's ledge. Sure.
Okay.
Greeting the patrons. Oh, so
there's going to be a Barker Bird animatronic.
Then it looks like he's gonna be able to move back and forth. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like he's not static. Keeping a close eye on the Mary on it. Again, it's a nice looking this bar. I just don't know if this was needed.
Yeah.
Captain's quarters. Inside the captain's quarters, visiting pirates can enjoy a taste of the finer life, which was once the living quarters of the Spanish commandant. However, the fine artwork and drapery hasn't escaped slashing barrel blades or burn marks over the years by rambunctious pirates. And in some places, faded spots on the walls are all that remain of the now plundered portraits. Above the fireplace are mounted 5 miniature ships in glass bottles, rumored to represent pirates from every corner of the world, banding together to defeat tyranny. Keep a weathered eye out, as these mysterious bottles have been known to come alive and engage in a fearsome battle. So, what we learned from the Haunted Mansion bar
is being applied in the
just being used.
I mean, I'm okay with that though.
Yeah. I'm already going to tell you, this black one right here is the pearl.
Yeah, probably.
That's Barboza.
Yes, and then the orangish one is the Singapore Pirates.
The Singapore Pirates.
World's End.
That's Jack's flag.
Is it?
I believe so.
I don't know. I need to rewatch those movies.
Be back soon. See to the tavern while I'm away. Yeah, because here it is again.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Red Sparrow.
Okay.
So it's a restaurant, not a bar?
I don't know.
Because if this is a bar, this is like a 3-room bar.
Yeah. With wait staff.
With wait staff. Well, but a bar can have wait staff.
I guess.
I don't know. Another bar, Magic Kingdom. I mean, Florida's always been more liquor heavy in their park than we have.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I mean, it's cool that we have a Pirates bar because I like pirates.
That is cool. I do like that. Like when we got the initial announcement for it, I was excited.
And what was there before? The walk-up restaurant, right? Is that where it's going?
I don't know. This was 2019, I think, when this was announced.
Wow.
We were at D23 when this was announced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't remember what was here. This has been an abandoned place for the longest time at this point. You think it's going to do well in sales? After the first year.
After the first year? Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think there's going to be enough.
Because it's a themed bar, but it's not like a Star Wars themed bar. Like Olga's.
Well, but even Olga's at this point is like hit and miss. Like it doesn't even have full crowds every day.
But also Olga's, they're continuously adding new event drinks and like new collectibles.
Well, that's what this bar's going to be doing.
Are they?
Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, okay.
Disney can sell another $1,000 mug. They're going to make sure they can bring out a new one.
My argument for that, though, is that this IP doesn't have as much depth as Star Wars does.
They can just take the Tiki Room bar mugs.
They could just port them over.
Legitimately, I can do this now.
Oh.
look at the $100 mug that they come out with a new version of every year now, and it sells continuously.
I mean, they could. Yeah, they could just port that over. Fair enough. Got our bowl back there.
Hey, I like my
That was a good drink.
That was a good drink.
That was a good drink.
I actually like the fact that now I can actually get to my cup stuff.
You can grab your physical props in studio.
Props. And we've got, my
Oh, I just realized you moved the Jolly Roger.
yeah.
Chubby!
I got Chubby there. I got my Banshee way back there.
Yeah, I see it.
And then
The freak.
I gotta remember his name, his type. Lizard monkey?
I don't know, man.
I guess a lizard monkey.
I wasn't that kind of nerd. I was a Navy nerd.
My Banshee's broken though.
Oh, is it?
His head doesn't really.
That was the one from
anymore.
Turok, wasn't it?
No.
Or is that the one from Walt Disney World? That's the one from Walt Disney World.
I want the new ones though that we saw back in D23.
Mm-hmm.
But I will be buying a new one of those. Anywho, the Rolling Stones articles we don't normally use. Disney's live-action Snow White gets digital and physical release dates. The film starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot. He doesn't stand. Yeah, I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with him. I might go and get like some foam and make a base for him.
Sorry.
Will be available for video on demand May 13th, and with physical release on June 24th.
That's it.
So that's it.
The physical release will include bonus features such as deleted scenes and a behind-the-scenes look at the film's production. You can check out an exclusive behind-the-scenes making of clip for... Wait, what? Behind-the-scenes making of clip for All Is Fair, performed by Gal Gadot. Below. It's not even included. It's already out. Oh, God, it's getting a steelbook, too. While the film will feature Dolby Vision and Atmos, do they have? Is there photos of the steelbook case?
Oh, I really doubt it. I really doubt it.
In this article, I'm curious how bad it looks. It'd be so funny if it's just the poster.
Use TV to pick up the slack on moving things.
My bad.
Steel.
EL.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Steel ball run.
I'm having a hard time typing. I did a lot of writing.
Oh God! It's just the poster. Oh why? Ew!
This is bad.
This is bad, dude.
Like I wasn't gonna buy this anyways.
I mean, I like the front.
I was gonna buy it for you. I forgot.
Oh God, no! I like the front. I like the back a little bit.
I like the back. I don't like the front.
But like the inside, it looks ugly, bro. You could have chosen a better shot. All right, man.
And, like, why have Gal Gadot as the hag and like?
Yeah.
Like. This is a last-ditch effort trying to make any money off this movie. And we're going to talk about the numbers of it again because we have to talk about our next, or not, well, no, not our next article.
Our next segment.
Our next segment, which will be touching into, of course, the release of Thunderbolts. We did do our review the other day of, that is live on the channel. But let's move away from Rachel Zegler for the minute. We'll come back to her. Did you hear? At least this is a rumor. We're gonna step into rumor for Terry for a second. She's suing the creators of South Park.
Defamation.
She's suing them for defamation because of the new episode that they made of South Park.
All right, bro. You can't. you can't. Parody is legal.
Yes. But she said they went too far and into the realm of internet bullying also.
All right, bro.
Everybody's like, it's South Park. Everybody expected they would eventually touch the subject. You can't go after them.
Last I checked, bullying isn't illegal. I think it is actually.
What?
Bullying isn't illegal, but it is.
Online internet bullying is illegal.
Yeah.
Do not bully online. However, South Park
It's parody.
making a parody episode isn't them bullying you on the internet.
Yeah.
Anyways, going into our main topic. Over there at that Park Place, since I pressed the wrong buttons. Avengers Doomsday may speculation, pause production until President Trump's Hollywood tariff details are announced. The Walt Disney Company may be facing a sudden high-stakes dilemma, whether to pause production on Avengers Doomsday, the highly anticipated Marvel installment currently filming entirely in the United Kingdom. This comes on the heels of President Trump's dramatic announcement of a 100% tariff on all foreign-made films, a sweeping protectionist move that could significantly reshape the global entertainment landscape and put massive projects like Avengers Doomsday directly in its crosshairs. President Trump declares over the weekend that he has authorized the Department of Commerce and the U.S. Trades representative to initiate the process of imposing the new tariff, citing the departure of U.S. film production overseas as both an economic crisis and a national security threat. Hollywood and many other areas within the U.S. are being devastated. He said, "We want movies made in America again." The Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, confirmed on X, quote, "We're on it," signaling that the administration is already moving forward with the implementation, but no clear rules have been laid out yet. This is interesting. Justin and I have already kind of gone a little bit into this back and forth. Do you want to start the discussion of this?
I mean, politics aside, it's art that you're imposing more money on. So I don't know if I like that. That'd be like putting tariffs on like paintings or music.
But tariffs are already on paintings and music.
I guess. I suppose.
Like,
I suppose.
Your argument there is already in
not
not necessarily from us, but in other cases, that's already the case.
Yeah, I don't really have a argument on it.
Do I think this is the correct route? Not necessarily. I think every company should be able to. So if you're filming the Lord of the Rings series, would you use that to represent? That should have been shot in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Why? Because it has the landscape. It looks correct.
Yeah.
When we're talking Avengers Doomsday, this is my counterpart to that, where a lot of that film is going to be, frankly enough, blue screen effect.
Mm-hmm.
That could be shot anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Why move, besides the tax breaks of the United Kingdom, why move an entire production staff, or even not even hire here, just hire over there?
Yeah.
And move your entire studio.
I see.
That's the back and forth. I think if we were discussing this as they were going to be shooting on location in like 6 different spots,
I think that's different.
That's different.
Like the Odyssey.
Like I'm trying to think of another one that recently did it. It was like Captain America. Captain America was shot on.
It was
shot
on location. Or Star Wars. Last Jedi was shot on location.
Yeah. Now that being said, I will take the other stance with Star Wars in retrospect. The Acolyte was just completely shot in the UK.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of those shots were more so CG. So
I go back and forth on that because, like, I didn't watch all of it. I'm just going off of the one episode you showed me where they're at Smiley's hideout. That had to be shot on location.
Smilo Ren.
Yeah, that had to be shot on location.
Well, but see, and Smilo Ren's little fortress, that's one thing. But like the forest battle,
that was the set.
You're like, it's a forest.
Yeah,
you could make that set anywhere.
Andor, I think all of that, all of the outside locations, I believe, are on location. Obviously, like Coruscant in the UK,
Primarily filmed in the UK.
obviously like Coruscant and such are sets, but like the fields in season 2 and that forest in season 2.
At least according to AI,
Okay.
it did not film in the US.
Mhm.
And that I think is where the problem is we're now moving full productions out of the States.
Yeah.
Is this the correct way to force it? No. Is this probably the only way as a president to do it? I don't know any other route he could force studios to bring back production into the States.
I don't want to talk too much about what else he could have done or what he could be done as a president. I think we can get too political with that.
So hold on, I gotta put in a disclaimer. We're not discussing politics. If we do talk right now, we're talking into politics. That is us speculating on the entertainment and the culture side of this.
Yeah.
Our personal opinions about politics do not matter. We're not going to defend one side or another. Frankly enough, we're not even on necessarily. Well, neither one of us are in a political party. I will say this if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
We're both independent.
Yeah.
We both lean different ways on the spectrum of it, but we're both independent. So if you want to make your comment, you can. We're not making this as a political comment, but
I mentioned to you earlier that like this is a very pro-monopolistic move, in the sense that it's like the ideology that movies can only be made in Hollywood, which I take issue with, and I prefer when films are on location. Because you have that feeling, you have like natural lighting. It just feels different. You could feel it. You good? Oh.
And that is a very true statement.
What sets? Oh, they can film. Okay.
For pretty much everything we've seen so far, yes, there are still shots.
Yeah.
Like when we're talking Doomsday, so we're talking Doom's Castle. Frankly enough, Europe has better castle designs.
Yeah.
And those, I would say, be on set. But 90% of this movie could have been filmed in those three spots easily.
Yeah.
Because, again, if we're talking any of the New York sets or New York shots, those aren't going to be filmed on the streets of New York.
No, those are going to be filmed at Universal.
No, again, at the moment, Doomsday was being filmed completely in...
I'm saying they could be filmed at Universal.
They could be filmed at Universal. Instead, right now, they're going, okay, we're going to green screen all that.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from. I'm going to word this I'm going to come back in a different way. If I'm looking at this as a businessman, this is a business choice.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
And that's, I think, not to defend again either side. Frankly enough, to us, it doesn't necessarily matter.
Well, it does, because like one of our main, it does matter to us because our one of our main sources of content is being directly affected by this. So
yes.
It does directly affect us.
But where it's being filmed does not directly affect us.
I'll give you that.
It does affect our state. We are Californians.
Yeah.
And that is the other side of it. I think our governor should be the one more so trying to do something about this than the president.
Yeah.
But
that's too much of politics. Too much.
I'm going to put this out there. This is not political. I do not like our governor. That's not political. That's just, I do not like our governor.
That's a statement.
That is a statement. But no, I don't know a better way to have done this. I almost feel that in this case, tariffs is the bad option.
I can't see the chat because of the light.
Yeah. At this point, we can bring this back down for now.
Oh yeah, because we're just yapping.
I don't think tariffs were necessarily the best option. As much as I hate to say it this way, I think tax cuts was the correct option.
Ooh.
Instead of imposing tariffs, you give the studios discounts.
Yeah.
And extra write-offs to keep it in the States.
Competitive.
competitive discounts.
Because in my opinion, if you do that, then there are still options to film elsewhere.
Yes.
Like you wouldn't just be going to London because it's cheapest. You would be going to London for its weather, its lights,
and again,
stuff like that.
We don't even know what the rules will be when they come out.
Yeah.
And that's the bigger part I'm waiting to see on, and we'll reopen the discussion.
Because if it's like if a film is like 60% of a film is shot outside of the country, then it's immediately done by tariffs. There's ways to work around that.
Yeah, where if it's going to be more so like 60% shot in the States, but 40% is being shot on location, and no tariffs. Like
I'm okay with that.
I understand that. That I'm like, okay, it makes sense because it's understanding the art form of it.
Yeah,
and again, the U.S. does not have castles.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like the key thing is that like there's so much that you can do if you're shooting entirely on location. There's so much you can do in the United States alone.
Yeah, because like if we're talking like the Harry Potter franchise, that had to be shot like
in UK. Yeah,
they needed the actors.
They needed the streets. They needed the actors. Stuff like that. Look up where Spider-Man No Way Home was filmed. Because as far as I'm aware, they did shoot on location for most of the like street, Far From Home, not No Way Home. As far as I'm aware, most of the city street scenes are filmed on location. Yeah, they filmed on location. Oh, that's
locations.
Oh yeah, film locations. The first link.
Filmed in Spain, Venice, Ches, London,
yeah,
Essex. But see, again, this falls under
the tariffs thing, which I disagree with that.
I am on the other side of that one because I can tell you straightforward the canal scene in Venice. They did not.
Oh, they 100% did not film
that was
on the canal.
That was a set.
Yeah,
they just
but
to film outside the country.
But like when they're like as the class out in the streets by like the landmarks,
yes,
that was filmed on location.
Because I'm going to pose this as a backup question. We'll come back to your next comment because it is a good comment.
Mm.
As an American, where are you at on the idea of if they film off in these other countries, they no longer have to follow American also worker laws? So that means these child actors and such don't have to follow child labor laws.
I see what you're saying. And in that case, then I think you follow the same guides as like cruise lines, where you follow their home country.
Okay, so then all that's going to do is what cruise lines do, and
they're just going to say, yeah, that's fair.
To a country that has no labor laws.
Yeah, okay.
So that is a pushback I'm going to give on that. Like I think that's something to take into consideration.
Mm.
Child labor laws aren't necessarily as loose still, just because they're children.
Yeah.
But when it comes to labor laws and like the production staff,
yes,
that could be then instead of reflected on the country they're from, reflected on the country they're in.
Yes.
And so that's where we start to get to weird work schedules. I do believe there will be only 2 films to hit 1 billion this summer. Jurassic Park Rebirth, Lilo and Stitch.
I disagree with Jurassic Park.
Even if James Gunn writes a good Superman film, people don't care about DC Studios right now.
They have to rebuild their trust. So 100%. I agree. I agree with that second one.
Lilo and Stitch,
I think can easily do it.
I've been on that.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, that thing is going to be a money pit.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park.
I don't think so. Pull up the numbers for Dominion.
Dominion.
Yeah, that was the last film. Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah.
2022.
It made $1 billion.
Not in the summer, but yes. That was worldwide. It took
I'll go up to the weeks.
I mean, actually, it did pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, did it get a review bump? No.
It steadily grew though.
Yeah. It didn't have that dramatic of a fall off.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Kevin's right here. I personally don't agree, but
I think Jurassic Park Rebirth is going to be slightly under.
yeah, I think it's going to perform under, but performing under for any Jurassic Park World movie is still profitable.
Well, but I think it's going to be like the 8 to 9s,
Which is still profitable.
It's still profitable.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be able to break $1 billion. Just because I haven't seen much positive around.
The more stuff that comes out about this movie, the like dumber it sounds, which like high key makes me want to see it more because it just sounds ridiculous at this point. Because like I heard it described on a podcast as the film was literally take like an NES game and apply that to a film plot where they have to get a DNA sample from a land dinosaur, an air dinosaur, and a water dinosaur. That sounds awesome, right?
Superman is not going to break $1 billion. DC fans, I think, will come back.
DC fans will come back, but they have to regain the general population trust.
The general population trust is what they're going to lose. I think they're going to gain on the superhero genre.
Yes, because Thunderbolts really high.
Thunderbolts, okay, it did not come out again as high as what was.
I'm saying critic wise.
Critic wise was high.
Critic wise is high. Popcorn wise was high.
Yeah.
So superheroes are back. We'll see what no, because Superman comes out first. So we'll see.
Why would Universal Studios open Epic Universe to the public early unless tickets aren't selling strong?
Maybe they're confident. I don't think they should be, but they're confident. I don't think they should be since, there was only one ride available today. Did you hear about that?
I heard that they were having weather issues, yes.
Yeah, because like a majority of their rides are outside. So if there's like a strong rain, they can't run most of their rides apparently because it's still new.
Well,
they're still figuring out operations. And then all the other rides that were indoors were down.
Well, so I think Universal's ticket sales are strong because we've seen the upsells of what looks like Universal hotels, and that was one way you could buy them for a long time.
Could just be demand as well.
It could just be demand. Part of it is doing the early sales at this point is just them trying. They have to run all this stuff anyways, so this is just we might as well make some bucks. I'm wondering, and this I haven't looked into the articles yet. Where it's still just happening right now. I'm wondering how many of the attractions were down because of weather.
Mm-hmm.
How many of the attractions were down to protect everything for opening day because of weather?
Yeah.
Because I will say for the coaster for Dragons, that's straightforward a extended version of Stinky Dog.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that coaster couldn't have ran.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have stopped it is if they had put tarps and such over the animatronics on the attraction to protect them for opening day.
Yeah.
And that would be more so us prepping for trying to make sure that they don't go back and spend money beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I think more people were, because it sounds like from what I saw, it sounds like they weren't down and that everything wasn't down all day. It's just people were blowing it up more out of portion.
From what I read, somebody who was there today said that at one point there was only one
At one
ride.
point, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yes. I did see that.
Which is not a good look.
It is not a good look. But that even people in the communities and such I saw where people were talking about it, a lot of people were like, hey, you're there for a preview.
Yeah.
They know there are problems because it's a preview. The park's not open yet. And that's, I mean, frankly enough, that's better than how other parks have gone through times of this. So I think the sales are strong because even the Helios Grand, their hotel, their sales have been very strong. Somebody said to get through security to get into the hotel the other day was like an hour wait.
Oh my God.
Because there was so many people trying to come in. There's problems, but there's problems with every new opening. But I think their sales are strong. So I think they have sold out tickets already, or sold out days already.
I have no idea.
Let's see if we can buy tickets and not have to wait in like a 45-minute wait.
You good?
Yeah, I was just looking at chat.
Oh.
Because every other time I've come to go and look at tickets, I've always had to wait like 45 minutes.
George, you can go to Volcano Bay.
We only have one day. I'll go elsewhere. One day, one park.
It's right there.
Yeah, so
that's
those
a
are
preview.
previews.
Why is the preview more expensive?
Because you're getting to see a park with a lot less people.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
there's a whole week sold out, and then almost all of June is sold out as
Almost
well.
all May, almost all June.
Yeah. July, August, October, September. Those are all still
I mean,
open.
the rest of the months are still fine. So like already, it's still fine.
Yeah.
But no, I think their sales are strong. They don't have the whole summer booked out yet, which is what I think they were hoping for.
Mhm.
I think that's why the single day tickets came out. But I think they're strong. Do you think there's going to be announcements during Disney's earnings call tomorrow?
There's an earnings call tomorrow?
Is there? Do I think there's going to be announcements?
No.
No.
What is there to announce?
Well, that would be the announcement. No, I don't.
There might be one tomorrow. For quarter two? Tomorrow? Well, how? Know what tomorrow's show is.
That's fine because we didn't have a topic for it.
Yeah.
So we will be discussing at 6 p.m. the earnings call tomorrow. Predictions going into it. I think we're going to have another AI call.
Yeah, probably.
So they don't have to deal with the populace in direct.
Yep.
We're going to ignore discussing Snow White.
Yep. They're going to talk about Thunderbolts critically, I believe.
They'll probably bring up the critical review of Thunderbolts. They'll talk about the excitement for Lilo and Stitch.
Yep.
And we'll probably ignore Captain America.
Yep. This is specifically for quarter two.
Yeah.
So would Cap would fiscal year? Yes, Cap would be in quarter two.
Yeah.
His fiscal starts October?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, these both should be lined up in this call.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to reference movies out now or near future, they should be referencing the other movies.
Yeah. They might talk about Fantastic Four, but I doubt it.
I think we're going to, if we get any announcement.
Do we have any Star Wars projects coming out soon?
No.
Not till next year, huh?
Not till next year.
Yeah.
If we got any
we have Tales of the Underworld.
If we got any announcement, it'd be a surprise announcement of something for the 70th, I think. Or 75th.
Yeah. 70th.
70th.
Yeah.
Are you Maleficent? We've heard rumors.
There were, that night that we were there was a lot of techs on stage altogether.
Bailey and I, last time we were there, we went and walked Tom Sawyer Island, and the stage is closed.
Yeah.
They're doing work over there.
Yeah.
Maybe Maleficent?
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe a new Murphy? Because let's be honest, to be a Murphy at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's still not going to work.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't hold my breath. We will be discussing tomorrow. We'll look at the numbers tomorrow. We'll see how bad the numbers look because as far as everything we've seen, it should have dropped.
As of today.
No. Like the sales and such should have dropped.
There was another reason. Oh, because tariffs and then movie tariffs specifically as well.
Well, that heard that. Also, we know Bob Iger said a couple months ago that if tariffs were to go into place, he might have to cancel the $60 billion improvements to the park subdivision.
Okay.
Yeah. There's all sorts of weirdness in that. But discussing numbers and such, since apparently now it's even more relevant to the next show. The Thunderbolts had their numbers. 79 million domestic box office weekend. 86 worldwide, so it did better in the world.
Mhm.
Or this would be total at this point. So let's take a look where we're at.
Just go ahead.
I didn't realize I was on that page. A 72% drop on the Monday, though.
Isn't that normal?
A drop is normal. 72% is an awful steep drop still,
Well,
nonetheless.
We'll compare it to when we look at Cap.
Because even when they're
It's
projected,
underperforming
it is
on the
underperforming.
Monday. Yeah.
Um,
Comparatively to Cap, though.
finally got the 200 million domestically.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this was still.
They had a 45. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so 75 is still awful big.
Was there a bigger opening day?
They were at
40?
40 there. Thunderbolts.
31.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Again, Thunderbolts is underperforming compared to Cap.
Okay.
If it holds better, we'll have to wait to see.
Also in more theaters. It's in 200 more theaters.
It is. And it's still underperformed.
Yeah.
So, again, critically the movie is good. I don't know if Marvel has the following anymore.
We'll see if
If Pixar bombed at the box office, do you think Pixar will just focus on upcoming films, Toy Story 5 and Incredibles 3, Coco, just to make money?
I hope not. As much as I like those franchises, I hope not. Like/love. Because I think there's more interesting stories to tell other than sequels. I just think they just need a better writing team to deliver on that because Elio looks boring.
Yeah, I think Pixar is going to bomb at the box office this year, and I think they will probably turn to focus. They'll probably put a sub team to work on another project, and probably give them like 100 million,
4 years. Yeah,
like you don't have to go over this. If you go over it, you're done.
Yeah.
But no, I think at least because right now Pixar out of the acquired companies, if I'm remembering right, is the lowest performing and biggest dead weight of them.
Yeah. As of recent years.
As of time from acquiring to current.
Okay, then yes, because like obviously Marvel and Star Wars made their money back.
They did
requirement wise.
Well, they didn't make their money back, but they did bring in money, which helped bring them forward. Marvel made its money back, because Marvel sold well enough.
Yeah,
but they both were bringing in good sales, where
Pixar has like
done fine,
mini bumps,
but has been
nothing
more on a
substantial. Nothing really substantial from Pixar. Until like Inside Out 2.
All right. We get a little controversial here.
Okay.
Pixar used to have a CEO who was very good and he used to do very good for Disney Animation. Is it that we're missing a John Lasseter? Is that what's causing the issues? For how much of a perfectionist he was. Yes, he was fired. However, I believe he won in court that the cases that he was fired for were actually not true.
Look up what his last project at Pixar was.
I know one of his projects he was working on was Toy Story 4. That was, he said later on, that was a force from Iger.
Yeah. Last project. He was a story writer on Toy Story 4. The last film he did was Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Last original film was Coco.
Mm-hmm.
So You might be onto something.
And
there.
he was the executive producer of Bow, which was a fantastic short.
You might be onto something there.
Because again, John Lasseter is also who brought us up second time around with Disney animation. Like, he was a great purchase.
You might be onto something there.
Marvel Studios will bounce back Avengers Doomsday at the box office. We'll see.
Word of mouth, not word of mouth, namestay, I think, alone will at least make it profitable.
It will bring in money.
Namestay for Avengers will at least make Avengers Doomsday profitable. I don't know if it can make the whole company bounce back from this year.
Because again, when we discussed it before, and you finally conceded to me that this is going to be at least a $750 million budget.
Yeah. It'll be profitable for Doomsday, at the very least. Because people are going to go, oh, there's a new Avengers movie. I haven't seen anything since Endgame. And they'll go see it.
I don't know, because there's a lot of people that have been burned this year. And there's a lot of people that were burned watching the Disney Plus show.
I'm saying those people that are like, oh, Marvel's good. Go see Avengers. You liked Avengers Endgame. You'll like this.
Correct. But again, a lot of those people have liked Marvel and trying to go see them.
No, I'm saying just casuals.
I'm talking casuals.
Okay.
We're talking the same group.
Okay.
But again, casuals also went ahead and, there's a new Marvel movie out, Captain America. Go see Captain Marvel. Oh, that's not very good. They're watching Disney Plus. Oh, there's a new Marvel show, Agatha all along. Go watch it. Oh, that's not very good.
Yeah.
Like,
I see what you're saying.
There is still going to be fatigue.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's going to lose money. Not yet, because we don't know how
we don't know. We know
through.
nothing about this film.
We know nothing about it yet. I think it's going to break even. It might break $1 billion.
Yeah.
But that would be very small profit.
Yeah.
Because I'm not talking $1 billion profit. I'm saying $1 billion in sales.
Yes.
And so at $1 billion, that's almost breaking even.
Yeah. If our proposed budget is true.
Correct. Very speculation.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of people they are hiring for it. I do think Universal Pictures should have more Wicked. Should have
moved Wicked for good this summer.
Because theatrical chains isn't going to turn down Predator, Badlands, Zootopia 2, Avatar, Fire and Ash.
Is that releasing November? Wicked
is releasing November.
Because I know like Predator and Zootopia and Avatar are all in November. That's going to be a very competitive month. Obviously, like Predator is going to do the worst out of all of them because it's Predator and it's such a niche franchise.
It's not even. I'm not going to go and go on a niche franchise. It's the fact that even the fans themselves are making fun of it already.
Yeah, I mean, like they're still going to go see it though.
He doesn't look like the Predator.
Predator fans are still going to go see it.
Yes, but they're not going to go in.
Hell, I might go see it. Those action scenes in the trailer look really good.
I do not care to see it.
I mean, like he looks weird. I don't care.
He looks bad.
It looks bad. like just the direction of the action scenes look cool.
Zootopia 2.
I think Zootopia 2 is going to be a cash cow again because Zootopia 1 was, and it's such a beloved franchise. And it obviously is already a cash cow, seeing how it has an entire land already. The movie's been out for 8 years, and there's already a theme park land based around it. I think it's going to make a bunch of money in Japan and China.
I think it's going to pull attention.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be a cash cow.
What was Zootopia 1?
Zootopia 1 was very profitable.
Yeah.
Especially for its time, but it was also in budget. That was the biggest thing. They did the movie in budget. They kept to their timeline.
We'll see if that happens again.
Because that's where everything's all over the place. Because straightforward.
All of their original films are in budget. So they make money, but all their sequel films that they're coming out with are over budget because the originals made more money. So why won't this one make more money?
Well, I think a lot of that is also, especially right now. Again, we do not discuss politics, but politics do affect pop culture and do affect entertainment. I think they all were more built for the world that the country thought we were going to have 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the election, I think, turned that up. And because we're seeing a lot of the remnant projects either go into quick reshoots and cuts. Snow White is a big one, a big representative of it. Or we're seeing a lot of readjustments. I bet you Zootopia 2 is going to have to go through the same process. The difference is they're early enough.
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 went through the same process because they saw how things were shifting.
Yes.
And that saved that film.
Yeah.
Straightforward. Even the head of Pixar said if it wasn't for those shifts, they probably would have lost money.
Yeah.
The movie didn't make a bunch of money because of how much it ended up costing, but they were profitable enough to keep Pixar open.
Yeah. I feel like they're just releasing Elio at this point just to make some money off of it.
No, at this point, they have to get the movie out.
Yeah. Contractually, they have to release the movie.
It's a loss. They know it's a loss. They're just releasing it.
Yeah.
And frankly enough, they could have released it the same day as
Inside Out 2 competed with themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would just be out. Contract would be done. They would have been fine.
Yeah.
Avatar Fire and Ash is going to pull money. I don't know why.
People like those movies.
I like the first one. The second one was the first one with water.
I didn't see it.
The third one's going to be the first one with water, with fire and ash.
Ooh.
Like, do I have hope for good? Yes. Are they visually stunning? Absolutely.
I don't like James Cameron. We've discussed that before, though. On and off camera. So much I don't like James Cameron. But I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting November, numbers wise. I'm curious if we're just gonna turn into like a box office podcast.
I think Wicked will actually surprise us.
I hope so. I mean, the first one did.
I think yes, but this is the one that they've already admitted they're doing a little bit more creativeness with.
Yeah.
Just not going to word that. I think it's going to surprise us because I think the theater kids are going to come out and go to it in droves. Avatar.
I feel like Avatar is just going to be Avatar and make $1 billion for free.
It is going to make $1 billion for free. Yeah, like, it's just going to make $1 billion. I don't know if it's going to be enough to.
We'll see though, because this one had less production time than Way of Water. I think.
I think they were because I think they just went into.
Were they written together?
I think so.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think James Cameron writ like the next three because there's like a 5.
Yeah, there's like it's a 5 movie franchise.
It's ridiculous. There's no reason for this.
Okay, never mind. Forget I said that. Predator Badlands is gonna break even if it stayed within budget. I don't know anything about the film other than the trailer looks cool as hell.
He's not the Predator. He is not the Predator. He does not look right.
It looks cool.
His head looks too small for his body.
The action scenes look cool.
Anything else?
No. Andor.
Oh, Andor. Synopsis, I guess.
Let me get my phone out.
We'll do an actual proper review. Okay.
I don't remember. This happened last week.
Okay. I'm gonna mute you for a second.
Okay. I was here that night, that Wednesday night for my mother's birthday. And I looked at George and I said, "Are we doing this?" And he goes, "No."
No. You didn't even get to say that yet. You walked in and I looked up at you because I was sitting at the chair next to the door. I'm like, do we have to do this? He's like, no. I'm like, I hate this show. I cannot stand this show. I already have my review answers for this week, but you can do your synopsis.
Dude, I don't remember what happened. The synopsis is going to help me.
This is the second week of the show being back after 2 years, and it's a filler week. They're dropping 3 episodes a week, and they can't even do 6 episodes without having to do half of them as filler. Legitimately, nothing happens. This was a waste of time. I'm sitting there, I'm like, why? The writing has gotten worse. The portrayals have gotten worse. Nothing happens anymore. Nothing matters. The show doesn't care. They just wanted to go ahead and get through it to make their money.
Andor's 4th episode opens BBY3, and we find Bix still having nightmares about the Imperial Gorse, who tortured her years earlier. She and Cassian are holed up on Coruscant in one of Luthen Rao's safe houses. It's revealed that Cassian killed an Imperial soldier on a recent mission. He was just a boy, but the rebel did what he had to do to protect the woman he loves after the young soldier saw Bix's face. Wait, did that not happen in episode 3? The 3rd episode? Oh, that happened in the 3rd episode.
What part?
About him killing a boy? That doesn't happen on screen?
No, because there's a year gap between episodes.
There's a year gap?
There's a year gap between episode 3 and 4. This show has no purpose.
I didn't know there was a year gap.
That's the first thing. It's 1 year later. I'm like, why?
Okay, so his death is... They're just not touching on his death, then.
At least not yet, I guess.
On Gormon, Cyril Karn... Oh, that's why they also skip over his stuff, too. Is on a call with his mother, and it seems the Empire's propaganda is having the desired effect across the galaxy. Though Cyril appears to feel otherwise, that's welcomed by the Gormans listening in, and they attempt to recruit him to their cause. However, he hasn't had a change of heart and quickly reports back to Dedra Miro. Cyril later attends a meeting where we learn that Grand Moff Tarkin once killed hundreds of Gormans. The locals are concerned that the Empire is now building a weapons facility in secret elsewhere. Elsewhere, Willman has been tasked with teaching one of Saw Gerrera's men how to build a Radidio. Skibo is the best bounty hunter in the universe. Rhydonium bomb. Luthen meets with Lonnie Jung and decides to send Cassian to Gormon. As he leaves, Bix is shown taking drugs to numb her pain. You good?
Yeah. I might have been muted. No, I guess it was. Over there it told me I was muted. So.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
That was episode 4.
Uh-huh. You know something?
Nothing happens.
This episode...
I mean, they're progressing Cyril, but, like, why would you progress your side character and do nothing with your main character?
They recessed him.
You think so?
Yeah. Because straightforward, he's always been very much more of a go-getter. And you're telling me that the diehard Imperial go-getter knows of this group of resistance and legitimately is just going to sit around and wait? Because spoiler alert, we get to the episode a couple episodes later. He watches them murder somebody and just waits.
Yeah.
We don't need to do the synopsis. I'm sorry. I was so bored listening to you. It was more fun to look over here at the blinking lights.
Yeah, so basically we're not going to cover the show anymore, I don't think.
No.
Like, not even on Tuesdays.
No.
Yeah.
We will be discussing a new show or something.
We'll find something.
This show is god-awful at this point. What your episode 4 review score number?
Dude, I don't even remember what happened. I just read the synopsis. I don't remember what happened.
So
we're not
a 5?
reviewing it.
Are you gonna give it a 5?
Oh yeah, a 5.
A 0. 5?
What?
Episode 5?
I don't know what happened.
A 0. Sticks?
That was the one where there was a heist and you saw nothing of it.
Yes.
So like a 1 because
0.
I like heists.
This is god awful. This last 3 took the show from a okay, like it's on the computer right there. I don't care enough to look. It was like a 6 or 7 to like a 1.
And season 1 was great. Season 1 we had like an 8, right?
Yeah.
Season 1 was like an 8. We loved season 1.
I recommended the show because of season 1.
Yeah.
I'm telling people now, don't watch it. Don't care. Ignore it. Apparently, this franchise just wanted to go ahead and waste your time.
Yeah.
This show cost $750 million, if I remember looking at it right. $750 million to do nothing.
This is why they drop 3 episodes at once, so that they get their watch hours up. Because nothing happens.
Oh, we can look at the watch time.
And I had a
God, how bad has it fallen? Please be bad.
I was on my phone during these 3 episodes, right? Which, like, when we're reviewing something, I try not to be on my phone because I won't pay attention. And like I was like, oh man, I forgot what happened. I was on my phone, and then I come in and I read the synopsis, and I was like, oh, nothing happened.
I'm having a hard time spelling right now.
Audience viewership is a success. Wow. According to Reddit.
Yeah, we know how much we trust Reddit. I mean, it's so successful that none of the big articles are even talking about it.
Wow.
And her crashes 650 million Star Wars dropped under 2 million views.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
In first 3 days of release. Yeah. Yeah, the first 3 episodes are good.
Ish.
But
yeah, nobody's talking about it.
yeah. Oh, we can't talk about how they recast Bale.
Yeah, go forward.
Because of scheduling conflicts. Oh well, I have a different stance on another subject. So they recast Bale Organa because of scheduling conflicts, and my initial reaction was, that's so dumb. Why did they do that? They could have just delayed it until he was available. And then I have a different stance. I have the opposite stance on another issue. In Destiny 2, the current season right now, 2 of the characters don't have voice lines almost entirely because of scheduling conflicts. And my initial reaction was, they could have delayed it. There's no excuse to have missing. Okay. There's no excuse to have missing voice lines in a game where you don't see these characters when they talk, right?
Yeah.
But they still shipped out without voice lines.
13 million viewers worldwide.
After the first 6 days. Yikes. Look at
That's not even the population of California.
It's not even a third. Look at what was the viewership of Daredevil? I know it's not the closest, but 7.5 on the first 5 days.
Yeah.
So it was higher than Daredevil. But as we discussed, I think there's a higher barrier to entry than that.
Yeah.
And superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a real thing, but that's just me.
You don't think superhero? Really?
No.
Even though we're seeing continuously lower sales.
I'm just making stuff up.
Okay. I'm like, you could legitimately plot it on a chart.
Yeah.
You can see the viewership of
Yeah.
fatigue. Universal Pictures franchise How to Train Your Dragon hasn't done well at the box office. I do believe that Pixar Elia will have a better opening than Elemental.
I think it's the same issue with Elemental, was that nobody cared about it until like it was right about to come out. But like overseas, Elemental did really, really well.
Yeah.
I think it's just nobody cares about these projects because they're not promoting them.
I still have yet to even see it.
Elemental? Yeah, I haven't seen Elemental either. They're not promoting their projects unless it's a sequel.
I think How to Train Your Dragon is going to do well this time. I'm still on that boat.
We're going to go see it.
That might be my fanboy there. I find that, but I think it's going to do well. Just because it looks great and they're pushing it like crazy.
Yeah, they're pushing it like crazy. Like they announced 2 at CinemaCon, and they showed footage at CinemaCon.
I do agree. I think Elio will have a better opening than Elemental because of when it's being released. Elemental, we still are in that post-pandemic time period.
It was summer 22.
We're still in that like pandemic time period. So a lot of people were still not going to theaters.
Okay. Compare the opening of Lightyear to Elemental. Lightyear's a sequel film. It's a franchise film.
Yeah, and
never mind then.
Lightyear still didn't do well either.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, so I do agree. Elio will do better than Elemental, be it even if it's just because of the fact we're not in/leaving a pandemic.
Yeah.
And they're not having to worry about mask rules and distancing rules.
Yes.
I'm fired up now.
I can tell. You're heavy breathing over there. I'm mad about Star Wars.
I'm also all red.
Yeah.
I can see it in the screen.
I've been red this whole time. You're redder than me at this point. Just admit that Skibo's your favorite character.
Who?
Skibo. It's an inside joke that me and my friends have that Star Wars always has like the most random names that you could just make up, like Glorblob, and that's a new Star Wars character right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anywho, you got anything else?
I'm out, bro. I'm fresh out.
You made it this part of the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Come around
Comment.
tomorrow to watch us
Get mad
try to
about
be financial
get
people.
mad about the earnings call and how they didn't talk about my favorite film franchise, Fantastic Four: First Steps.
That's not even a franchise.
Not yet.
I figured you were going to Incredibles at that point, but I'm like, why would they discuss Incredibles? But Fantastic Four, it's not a franchise. It's not going to make it past the first movie.
Yeah, well,
I am not looking forward to that either.
yeah, and obviously it is. Doomsday is the sequel.
Anyways, until next time.
Comment Skibo if you made it to this far in the video. That's SKEEBO.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
The outro.
Oh. Now bye. Goodbye.